How are you? Oh, can you hear me?
I can't hear.
Oh,
now it's working now.
Okay.
I say something like that, then it starts working. And it's just okay.
Okay, glad we got it. I'm trying to fix my display. Okay, there we go. Maybe that'll work better. It's been a long day. How's your day been?
Just starting now.
Oh yeah.
I did a late night classes, so I need my sleep.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
Now I'm ready for iTutorGroup, learning everything from you.
Well, I was gonna say you picked a good session to come to, because that's what this one was all about, was kind of all those little things that are kind of given in training somewhat, but it kind of gets missed. So these are all the important things that you have to know.
Yeah, because I wanted to hear from you, and then I'll try to fill all the details in.
Easy. Okay, so and Tanya's here as well, but I know she's always listening in. So we'll get started. Other people might pop in as we go too. Okay, so I put this little PowerPoint together like in the past 30 minutes. So it's kind of just everything that was going on in my head that I put down. So forgive me if it's not beautiful. I didn't put a lot into making it pretty, but hopefully it does the job. Oh, I did want to ask before I do this, what did you end up doing for your background?
My background, Zoom isn't letting you see it, but it's here.
Ah, yes. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, I have it against the laundry hamper on the back of a is this a chart tablet? Ah,
awesome. Perfect.
With their camera it worked, but with the Zoom it doesn't show it.
Yeah. It's same for mine. Doesn't kind of fit everything in.
Put it down because Zoom won't let you see it anyway.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I was just curious because I know you had you had a marathon getting through that IT test, so I wanted to see what you ended up having to do.
It was, but you helped me learn the tips and tricks.
Well, I'm glad that we've got it sorted, because yeah, it's quite a few people have trouble with that in some way or another, so I'm quite used to it. Yeah. It's normal. Yeah, okay, so we'll do this. Obviously, you can ask questions as we're going, so this isn't meant to just be me like lecturing or anything. So I'll tell you the things that I've kind of brought up, and then if you have questions about them, just be like, shut up, Kelly, and ask me a question. Okay. So I pretty much broke this up into like different areas. The first one, assuming I can make this go, is time management. So a few things that you need to know. So once you're activated, I do actually at the end of this, I have a couple resources as well. I can't remember if I sent it to you already, but I do have like a walkthrough of everything in the portal. And then I have, I'll post this up in the Facebook group too. So you don't have to take photos if you don't want to.
I'll still take the photos just because I want it easy access.
Oh, that's okay. No, that's okay. Totally fine. I don't mind. Yeah, so at the end of this as well, I did put links to the videos that I've made to kind of help with the portal.
Okay.
Some of it will be there, but these are kind of the key points. Okay, so when you do have a class, you can enter up to 10 minutes early. So don't panic if you go and you don't see a button to enter, because it will only pop up 10 minutes before. Once you're actually in the classroom, there'll be a button up in the right-hand side, and it'll say like begin or begin session. I see this every day. I should remember it, but you don't have to click that if you don't want to. So you can just wait until the time clicks down to start time, and it'll automatically go. You can click it early if you want, if your students are there, but I caution against starting early, because the timer that runs in the classroom, it goes off of the official start time. So I think like if you start 2 minutes early and you pretty much still have to teach that however long. So you still have to get to the 25-minute mark or whatever.
You have to do a few extra, like VIPKid expects you, or the parents want you to do an extra 2-3 minutes. They would like you. Is it also expected for iTutorGroup?
No, I always end on time because here, and that's the last point, you have to get to your next class 3 minutes early. So you don't have leeway to give them extra time anyway.
5-minute class, 25, 45-minute class, 45. You don't need to add.
Exactly. Sometimes I still same with VIPKid. Sometimes I still run over just because we're talking a lot or, things happen. It happens. And there are ways you can kind of get around that. So if you think your class is going to go to like 26, 27, all of your classes open in different windows. So you'll always have your session page open. So you'll always have your class list open. And then when you click one, it just opens in another window. So what you can do is while you're still chatting to your first student, you can sneakily just click back to your page, open the next class, and it'll already be there. So that's kind of a trick I do try to let people know, because if you're coming up on that 27-minute mark, you might start to panic because you're like, I'm not going to make it to my next class. And if you quickly do that, you're already there, you're counted as there, and you can finish up and still have a little bit of leeway to get moved on. And then this from the other companies, never end early. So 25, 45, don't end at 24:30 or whatever. So I know a lot of people with VIPKid, they complain about like teachers that start early and stuff like that. I think it's kind of the same here, maybe even more so, because I think if you start 2 minutes early and you're giving them that extra time, that does kind of open up for the whole ratings thing. Because students will be like, oh, well, or if you only teach 25 minutes, but you started 2 minutes early, it'll look to them like you only taught 23, and they'll be like, oh, well, I didn't get my time. So lots of little things can go wrong. So I just never start early.
So I don't have to press a start button. It will just automatically start.
Yeah. So it will be there. So if you click it, it'll start recording early. That's essentially what that button does, is it starts the class recording process. So you are able to click it early if you want. Once you do, it'll prompt you to turn your camera on if you don't already have it on, but you don't actually have to. Once the class timer gets to the start time, it'll automatically pop up, say, turn your camera on, let's go. In a longer way, but that's essentially what it says. So that's kind of the basics of timing. The next big one is no-shows. So I'm sure you've had no-shows with VIPKid or whatever.
Most of them show up, but
surprisingly, I think I actually get more no-shows with iTutor than I do with VIPKid. So I think it might be a little more common here. I don't know why. But same kind of deal. So I do the same thing for both companies. Turn the camera on, but you can cover it. So I just put like a sticky note or something over my camera, and I just turn my mic off so that nobody hears me while I'm drinking my coffee. But do stay at your computer the whole time. The next slide is going to be on late students. You will get a lot of late students. I don't know. I've never had this many late with VIPKid, but you will get students turning up 1, 2, 5, 10 minutes late sometimes. So unless you absolutely need to make a run to the toilet or something, try to stay in front of your computer and have it accessible, because it will make a noise when they come into the classroom. But I try not to rely on that. So I kind of make sure I can still access the classroom pretty easily to keep a check. But every time a student enters, I jump out of my skin. I know the sound, I know it's coming, but I still, and you still end the session on time. So you just sit there, same for VIP, you sit there till the 25 or the 45-minute mark. What's different from VIPKid, you still complete the feedback report. So once you leave, the progress report will be there. You just have to open it. It should already say that the student wasn't there. And then you just don't have to do anything other than, submit it. If for some reason it doesn't, that's because the student did try to log on at some point, obviously unsuccessfully, but it has registered them as trying. So all you can really do is tick late. And I just normally go through and tick all positives and then put, sorry, I missed you. Hope to see you next time.
You actually put all positives, even though they didn't show their face?
Well, even if they're not, well, I don't want to give them all negatives either. I think the company will know that they did not attend the
Oh, so you're
class.
saying like they actually force you to like click on how they did?
Yeah, so only, not necessarily. So if they've missed and it's the system knows that they've missed, it will automatically be ticked missed and you don't have to tick anything. If the student did try to log on, the progress report automatically.
I thought you meant like if they were there for 5 minutes, but you're saying just like if they tried but that wasn't successful, you still have to give it. So I got it.
Yeah. So you still have to take, and the company will know this because the students can tell them, look, I had IT issues, or look, I wasn't there, and they'll redo the class anyway. So whatever you tick there isn't really going to matter. So I just do positives just to, but you can honestly tick whatever you want. And you still get paid for no shows. Hi, Sophie. Okay, so that's no shows. So pretty similar to VIPKID, except you just have to do the report.
Right, got it.
Okay, so I've got too many boxes happening. Let's go to the next one. So the next one is the one I mentioned, late students. So this does, I find, happen quite a bit. So I've had students come, 1 or 2 minutes late. I've had students come like 10, 15 minutes late, which of course is always fun, trying to get through everything. So I say if it's only one student, so if it's a one-on-one class, I just start whenever they arrive, do the best I can to go through the lesson. And then depending on where we're at, if we finish, great. If we don't, because they were, 10 minutes late, I just hit the little skip to end to the goodbye slide and then thank them, do everything I would normally do, and sign off on time.
Do they get to see the class after like VIPKID? Is it recorded? And are they able to see it?
They're able, I believe they can view the recordings. This has never been confirmed, but I know the whole reason we use the whiteboard for iTutor is because they can review that afterwards. So that's why students really like if you put stuff on the slides. So if you like type something on the slides or make notes or something on the slides, they really like that because they can see it. So I assume they can see the whole class, but I'm not 100% on that one. I've never had anyone to really confirm.
A kid 15 minutes late, you probably won't get through the whole lesson. So if you skip slides at the end, you won't get a bad rating from them. They won't be mad like, hey, the teacher skipped slides.
I always put in the feedback, I'm like, yeah, sorry you were only here for X number of minutes or whatever. But I've never. I have mixed feelings. It really depends on the student sometimes and how many slides you have, because typically for iTutor, there's far less slides than you have for VIPKID. VIPKID normally have like 27. iTutor, you typically have like 12 to 15, maybe. So you typically have. Yeah, essentially, if you knock out any extension that you were planning and you just kind of do through it, you can actually get through it in a short time if you need to. It does depend on the amount of reading too. If there's a lot of reading and the student's late, I will either, have them read part of it, or maybe I will help them read, or maybe I'll just forego the reading altogether and just ask them a question on the topic. So as long as you touch on the slides, it counts. You have a lot more freedom with iTutor.
If a kid's 5 minutes late and I have no class next session, I will give them extra 5 minutes because I will. Now on a tutor group, should I not do that? Like if I have no session next, or is that like, are they really like on time, or is that okay?
I think it's fine. Like if a student has to go, like for adult classes or something, they'll tell you they have to go. But otherwise, I mean, giving extra time isn't an issue. You're totally allowed to do it. I only said don't do it if you have, especially if you have back-to-back classes. But you don't want to be late for your next class, so don't jeopardize your attendance for that. But if you don't, I don't typically see a problem with going over a bit just to finish, because I do it sometimes. I get asked this a lot. So because we have the group classes, which are typically the adult classes, but not necessarily. If you have one student late, what I always start the class on time. So, with whoever's there. So if it's a group of 4 and 2 are there, I'll start with the 2. Or if it's, only 1 there, I start with the 1 because they're on time and they shouldn't be punished. So when the late students come in, I just, briefly stop wherever we're at, say, hi, how are you going today? We're doing X, Y, Z, and then just let them know.
Name, like, hi, I'm teacher Jody. What's your name, or do you not bother that?
If it's already in, like, during class, I won't.
Yeah.
I'll just be like, you know, hi, because you'll be able to see their name when they come in. So most of the time,
Like, welcome. Okay.
yeah. So I usually call them by name anyway and say, hi, like, hi, Jody, welcome to class. How are you today? Give them a chance to speak for a second and then drag them in. You can, I mean, there are options for how to do it. That's just my method. But definitely always start on time. That's a given. Yeah. Because you will find in the adult classes, like, you could have, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6 students, and I promise someone will not be there on time because, you know, adults, you know, we're always late for something. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so that does happen quite a bit. And on the progress report, you'll see, like we were talking earlier, for each student, you can actually tick whether they're on time, whether they were late. You won't be able to tick that they missed, though, because that's an automatic thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's that. All right. Ratings is a big thing, and we do a lot of talking about ratings between the Facebook group and these trainings and everything else. So I've just given, like, some very basics here. I'm not going to go into, like, how to get ratings and all that tonight, because we'll do that probably another session soon. So with iTutor, and everyone sees this in their contract, you have to stay above 9 overall. What that means is, like, if you drop below 9, you're not going to get fired on the spot. So don't panic about that. You know, I've had people who have sadly gotten fired because of it, but they also had it under 9 for, say, a month. So they give you a lot of leeway to get it up before they do anything, at least as far as that extreme. 9.5 is the best for bookings. So if you talk to the schedulers or pretty much anyone else, they're going to ask, and, you know, they're going to want to see a rating above 9.5, because that's just how they distinguish bookings. There is no official appeals process, which is very different to VIPKID. So you can't say, you know, I don't think that feedback is fair, and ask them to review it. Just because
somebody gave you would think that's crazy. You have the one, it's yours.
Yeah. Kind of, but the company does automatically get rid of some for you. So they drop 3% of your ratings for you. So they know that some students are crazy, and you're going to get unfair ratings. Yeah. So that's something to keep in mind. I have heard of people successfully arguing for a rating, and you just, you know, send it to Comm Center, make your case very, very strongly, and see what happens. But there's no guarantee they will actually review it for you. So just be mindful. The last thing I put in here, because it is important, and I get so many panicked messages about this one. They review new teacher performance for, like, your first 50 sessions. So at 5, 25, and 50, if your rating is near 9, and that's very liberal because I don't know where the actual cutoff is, it's near 9, they'll send you, it's an automated warning that comes. So don't panic if you get one. It's not meant to be personal. It's not meaning they're going to fire you, but it's just to offer training if you need it. And there's lots of training resources they'll direct you to. I believe if your rating is a certain number, and honestly, again, I don't know the cutoff, but I believe if it's below 9 at the 50 session mark, they may also opt to suspend your account for a week while you do training. So if you've gotten to 50 sessions and it is below, I believe if it's below, they may suspend you. But I've only had a handful of people this has happened to, so I don't know the actual cutoff around that. But again, it's not personal. It's not meant to be a punishment. They do want new teachers to be successful, and a lot of times teachers aren't, because they jump in and they, you know, make mistakes and things like that. So they give them a break to kind of pull back, do some training, and keep going. And most of the time, teachers that I've had suspended come back, and they're bloody amazing. So it's not a bad thing at all. So definitely don't panic if you get emails or anything like that. Okay. Payroll's another question I get all the time. It's like I forgot what I typed. I don't know the order of these, so when I see one, I'm like, oh yeah. So the payroll page, and again, you'll see this once you're activated. All of these things I'm talking about, like payroll, for example, and some things I'll talk about later, they're all under your consultant tab.
Right.
So when you go to payroll, it does not update immediately. So like VIPKID, where it updates at a certain time. Like when you go check in.
they take like 24 hours to like say the money's.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
slow.
Yeah. So it's like VIPKID, it's not automatic. iTutor isn't. You will often see your classes there, but they'll say like no show and report not filed. And that's just because it hasn't updated. So once you have a class, it'll still say that. So it updates it 4 times a day. So just check back in a few hours and everything will be fine. To see your payroll, you actually have to select the month and the year at the top. And that's not necessarily obvious. So when you go there, don't panic if there's nothing there. Just find the little box and tick the right things and it'll come up. I get this a lot, especially this time of the month. So at the end of a month and the beginning of the month, the payroll pages, anything dealing with money, so referral pages, payroll pages, they will glitch. So numbers may look wonky or something may suddenly disappear or come back or whatever. That's just because things are processing toward ahead of payday. It comes back to normal. Just give it a few days. Don't panic. And everything will be fine. It'll update ahead of payday.
A $6 fee for under 500. That sounds a little harsh.
I don't know where that comes from. I guess because they do wire transfers. I honestly don't know the history or the reasoning behind it. But at the bottom, they do opt to let you hold the payment if you want. I've never done it, just $6, which is a lot, but still. I'm in the boat where I'd rather have my $450 than wait to save the $6.
I don't know how long it would take to make 500, provided that iTutor, works positively for me. I'm thinking that might take 4 or 5 months. I don't know. I have no idea if I'll make hundreds or like in the 1 to 100 range in a month. I don't know. But I get what you're saying. Like, bills do need to be paid. So
I think it comes from the method that they use, because they do wire transfers, and so it's always coming across as an international payment. So I'm guessing they're covering whatever fee is being charged to them, which admittedly isn't necessarily fair. I think
I wanted to just, for some reason, avoid that fee. How would I let them know that?
So you can, there's in the payroll tab, there's a little thing that says postpone payment. So you just tell them, yep, I want to hold my payment over to next month or over to whatever. So you can hold it until you get 500. I mean, if you're not needing it to pay bills or whatever, you can just hold it until you get that saved money, and they'll just deposit it when you're ready.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I guess I need the money. But most people who do this probably need the money to pay bills, and it's not just extra fluff money. So
it's both.
Okay.
Yeah, there's lots of different, like some people, I've had lots of people messaging me about postponing and things like that. So yeah, people do both.
Okay, well, I guess it depends on their situation. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so that's that part. What's next? Scheduling. Okay. I told you I put this together, and I remember everything that I put in here, but not the order that I put it in here. So unlike VIPKID, classes don't book 2 weeks out. Classes will start to fill 1 to 2 days ahead of time. So
that's actually
yeah, so a lot of people, I get panic messages, my schedule isn't full yet. I'm like, oh, it's still like 3 days away. Just give it time. Because the company is booking for you, and because we have such an amazing cancellation policy, they leave it quite late to start booking classes.
You said there's an amazing cancellation policy, but then I hear some people online saying like it's not so good. So what's the truth?
I'll tell you about it next. Actually, another slide, so I will go through it as well. But I'll preface by saying I cancel every week. I'll show you my cancellation history if you really want to see it.
You're like the TutorGroup, so I do that.
But no, I'll tell you about it shortly. I did make a slide on it to go through it too, because that is a big point. So anyway, because of those two things, classes will start to book 1 to 2 days before, and they can book up to an hour before. So what's really important is that you check your computer for your schedule.
Is there like an app that I can put on the phone for iTutorGroup?
Yeah, I'll see. I'll show, if I can find it. I'll show it to you.
Because the VIPKID app is like, I love it, and I
don't know if you can see it. That's my light. It's not working. There we go.
I think I see it.
It's a white box with the iTutorGroup logo.
So how helpful is that? Like, should I rely on that or the desktop?
The app is useful for booking classes, for canceling classes, and you can view your schedule there as well.
And I'm
But
going to the app store and see if there's like, if I put in iTutorGroup, is there like one thing go up or 500 things come up?
it should just be one. It'll be a white box with a red logo, I believe, or it might be red and white depending on the.
There's iTutorGroup Teach.
Yeah, that
Actually, weird stuff is coming up on my iPhone. iTutor, white. Like there's no, it's iTutorGroup, no spaces, right?
Yeah, oh, it might be different for the, because I use Samsung. I seem to remember that in an email they sent a specific link for the, I'll see if I can find it. I'll see if I can find it and send it to you after this.
Because my iPhone isn't totally recognizing like what I would think would be the main.
Yeah, I think for iPhone it might be different. I remember when they sent the email about the app that I think ours was in the Play Store, but I think the iPhone might have been like a link that you had to follow. I'll see if I can find it and send it to you.
Thank you.
So the app is useful for a lot of things. I don't like it as much as the VIPKID one. So yeah, there's lots of honesty. And it's not as reliable to me as the VIPKID one. So it doesn't give you notifications if you're booked. So don't expect it to pop up.
The VIPKID one is so great that it's hard to, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I like the VIPKID one better. But I do say don't rely on the phone app to check your schedule close to time. So if it's a couple hours before and you need to see if you're booked, go to your computer to do it, because that the app will show you, but it tends to lag. So, you know, if you're checking at that hour mark to see if you can go out or not, do it from your computer.
If I check it, if I'm still with my phone and I go on the Safari on the iPhone, can I really like log on regular, you know, thing that I would do the desktop and get all that info?
You might be able to. I haven't tried. If you do it as the desktop site, I know it won't access from a mobile site, but if you change it to the desktop site on your phone, it might work.
Okay.
But I don't know if it'll let you go to the sessions page or not. I think the actual website, yes, but I'm not sure if it'll take you to the actual classes page. You can give it a try. I haven't actually tried it, so I'm not 100%. There have been mistakes. You will see on the Facebook page that people have been booked under an hour, and they yell at the schedulers subsequently for that. It does happen occasionally. I've never had it happen, and I don't think it happens, you know, a million times a day or anything like that. But I always cover myself. So I screenshot my schedule at the hour mark, and then if I want to leave, I leave. Most of the time I'm sitting at my computer anyway, so, but I do it just in case. Okay. Absences. Okay, cancellations is coming up. So absences are if you fail to attend your class or you don't enter 3 minutes early. It can also be if you cancel under an hour before class. I didn't include that one, but that does count as well.
Okay.
So if that happens for the not attending or the 3 minutes, you'll be switched. So it'll come up, you'll see on your schedule, it'll say switched. And that does count against you. So it counts as, you know, the essential a no-show against your contract. So you get 6 of those in 6 months. Actually, technically, if we're being really realistic about it, you actually get about 14 absences because you have free passes that you can use.
Well, that sounds pretty nice to me.
Yeah, it's actually, it is, they are actually surprisingly lenient. But you will find, like, you know, if, you know, you're switched because you happen to not get there 3 minutes early, it will be a pain, but you just go into a free pass, say, yeah, it was an IT issue, and use a free passport. So, so I think you get one IT pass a month, and then you get, I think it's one personal every 2 months or every 3 months. So there are
I know you
options.
use multiple companies, Kelly. Like, is iTutorGroup the one you use the most? Because you like know so much about it. Is this like your? Is this your?
I teach for 3 companies, and I know about all 3 of them because I do. iTutorGroup is the one that I interview for, so I obviously get a lot more questions for them. But I do recruit for our VIPKID, and my other one is a Vietnamese company.
Oh, 101 English. Okay.
Yes.
Because it's like you know so much. I was just like, how do you know so much?
I've been with them for about 1.5 years now, so I've kind of. There's still things that I don't know. So people ask me questions sometimes, and I'm like, I don't actually.
Okay, that's good because, like, trust me, I'll be asking you a billion questions. So I'm amazed how much I know.
That's fine. Hi, Amanda.
Hi. Could I just ask a quick question? Sorry, I was late. I had a class, so I've just managed to finish. So I had to cancel my classes on Tuesday Yeah, which I cancelled days and days before, a week before, I think, because I put them as my priority hours. Now all my bonuses seem to have disappeared.
You do lose your attendance bonus for that one, but you shouldn't have lost your other one.
There it says nothing.
It could also
Zero.
be, did you teach more than 50 classes?
No, not yet.
Okay, so yeah, then you would have lost the attendance bonus, which would have been the one that was up in the green box at the top. So that would have went to zero for the month of January. It'll come back for February. So now that it's a new month, it resets.
Yeah. Okay. And when can you change your peak hours?
I can tell what companies people come from by the terminology they use. So that's Cambly.
Yeah. When can you check? I've just finished with them actually now. So
you can change your fixed hours every 30 days. So I know.
Okay.
I think you started this month? Last month, sorry.
Only last week. I think a week.
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
Well, I think you've come to a couple Zoom sessions now, so I'm thinking you're like old school now.
No. It's my third one.
Yeah, so it'll be essentially you'll be able to change them this month, but they'll take effect the beginning of the 1st of March. So it's you keep them for 30 days, you put your request in, and it usually takes effect the 1st of the following month.
Just one more quick question that I did put on the Facebook group today, that tomorrow morning I've got a class with 2 15-year-olds about pandemics.
Oh, now, I did see that, yeah.
Did you see it?
I did.
What do you think? I feel really, I don't know.
You can try,
I feel uncomfortable teaching it.
I would actually, you can go to the schedulers. So I would suggest maybe going to the schedulers like an hour or two before. I'm not sure of the time frame that you need to do it. Because of course it can change before tomorrow morning as well.
Yeah.
But so go to them quite close to time and just ask them if they can change the course material. I have heard of them doing it. So just say, I think this may not be.
Someone did say that they taught it, saying that they were talking about other illnesses. So I just feel a little bit uncomfortable with it. But
if you do, request it, there's no harm in saying, just messaging the scheduler saying, make sure you give them the exact class information and say, can you swap the course material? Worst case, they'll say no, and then you just kind of have to
do it. Okay. That was it. That was those were my questions.
That was easy. Okay. So, let's see what we're talking about. So you do have the free passes. There's an attendance system that you'll see once you're, in your portal, and you just go to the attendance system, the appeal system, attendance system. And you can appeal absences there. There is a guide on that page as well that kind of breaks down exactly how to do it. So you can read through that to kind of make sure you're doing things correctly. One thing that a lot of people don't know or don't pick up from training is if you are switched from a class, so if you miss a class or you don't enter on time, they will wipe your schedule for 24 hours. Well, it's meant to be 24 hours is probably extreme, but it is meant to be a precaution because you'll see people posting on VIPKID page that they overslept and missed 5 classes. That's the point. They don't know if you're going to miss one class or if you're going to miss all 10 of your classes for the day.
They're covering themselves.
Yeah, exactly. So they've already got one unhappy student. They don't want
10.
Yeah. 24 hours is probably extreme, but that's kind of what they do. But if you are switched and you are like for instance, if you just didn't enter on time, message the schedulers on Tutor Chat, literally as soon as you can. And often they will just let you keep your schedule if you tell them you're still able to teach. So there is a way around it.
So Tutor Chat is kind of like the fireman at VIPKID, or?
Yeah, it's the firemen, it's the schedulers, it's like everybody. It's how do you contact head office?
You have to download something to make Tutor Chat work, or is it just there?
It should be, I think if you go back to your onboarding, this is going to be a while back for you. If you go back to your onboarding emails, there was a link to download it. I know some people have trouble with it on their computer. Worst case, you can access it via the phone app as well. So even if you can't put it on your computer, you can go to the phone app and still access them there as well.
Okay. Even getting the person in person to see my background took a little bit of work. My computer wasn't being that cooperative, and I had to really, work on it to get that to happen. Like bad security. I was like, no, help. Like, let me get to this person. So the Macintosh computers try to protect you a little too much, maybe.
Yeah, I've heard that actually. A lot of people have come up with that and had different issues with either downloading the app or, you know, doing different things. So.
Okay.
Okay, so this one will be super quick. So one big thing, students don't have to have their cameras on. Most kids I find do, although people get mixed results, but I have never yet had an adult class that had their cameras on. So I just don't think that's a thing. So don't be surprised.
You'll just hear them sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Like for kids, I will often request that they turn the camera on. You can just click their camera button and it will send them a request. And yeah.
So you won't.
Oh, can you? Because I had a couple that didn't have their cameras on the other day. So
I just request it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
But do you tell the kid, like, I can't see you, or do you just not, like?
They typically will know if they have their camera off and on, because usually most people have done enough classes that they know the deal. So I'll just click the button and it'll send them a request, and sometimes they turn it on, sometimes they don't, but I don't let it
The
affect
button's obvious, the turn their camera on.
Yeah, you'll see like a little box where their picture should be or where their camera should be, and below it there's a little camera icon. It's the same one you use to turn your camera on, so you'll know it when you start.
Click on their
A couple things to make sure. So you can mute students, or if some students want to mute themselves, so I just lower their volume so nobody can hear them. That's the sneaky way of doing it that I learned a couple months ago. Things to not do. So don't eat in class or chew gum in class. Those are pretty obvious, hopefully.
Yeah.
One big thing, don't make it look like you're using your phone in class. So some people will show pictures on their phone, and that's fine, but have it
use it as, like, talk.
Yeah, if you use it as a prop, that's fine. Or if you have something already up there and you just pick it up and be like, okay, that's fine.
Okay.
But if they see you looking like this, they have immediately terminated teachers who look like they're doing this during class. So it's about appearances. Like, it's just don't make it look like that's what you're doing. Be super obvious about it. So if you're using your phone as a prop or something, be like, I'm gonna show you this. And you will see it pop up as well. It says, don't let students introduce themselves. The biggest part of this is don't ask where they are from. So it's fine if you ask them their name and you want to have them tell them their name, or if you want to ask for kids, you can ask them their age. I wouldn't ask adults their age just because that's a taboo anyway. But don't ask where they are from because of potential conflicts between Taiwan, China, kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because that's a big thing. So if you happen to have a mixed class, or if you mess that one up, you can kind of get students yelling at you. Okay. So we literally have 2 minutes, so I'm going to quickly do the last two. So you can ask students to leave feedback. We talk about this a lot. So you just can't tell them to leave you a 10. So you can remind them at the end, hey, if you enjoyed class, please remember to leave feedback. That's perfectly fine. Just don't say, hey, leave me a 10. They don't like that. And you can see your feedback in the feedback tab. So you just go there, and if you want to see specifics, you can select the date at the top, click submit, and it'll bring up all the class information.
Can you say, please leave me positive feedback, or not the word positive?
Actually, I don't know. As long as you're not saying a number, you might could get away with it. I always word it just carefully. So I say, I really enjoyed class today. If you enjoyed class too, please remember to leave me feedback so that we can see each other again.
That's exactly what I've been saying, Kelly.
Yeah.
You told me to say that.
Yeah, you encourage them if it was a good experience to leave you feedback.
The little ones don't understand, but
no, for the adults it works, but it works better.
Yeah.
For the kids, sometimes I don't even bother. But
you get bonus money if they leave you good feedback.
For the adults, not usually for kids. Well, yeah, actually, no contracts have it for kids.
Bother saying that to a kid, like.
I do it if it's an older kid, because getting good feedback helps your average anyway. So, if you do get a crappy rating from someone who's having a bad day, that will
more to drive it up.
It's more to bring it up. Yeah.
If you don't get feedback, does that bring it down?
No, not getting feedback doesn't hurt you at all. It just
okay. All right, that's fine. I've got 2 10s and 2 9s so far. But I've only done a few classes. No, I haven't. I've got 4 10s and 2 9s.
that's
Sorry,
pretty
4
good.
10s. Yeah, and a couple of hearts as well now.
Ooh.
So, and I've only done this week, and I had to cancel all Tuesday, but I've got about 8 lessons tomorrow. So, early night tonight.